at number 5, Manah. Hailing from Zoroastrian mythology, Manah, the demon of sensual desires, was sent by Ahriman to seduce the prophet Zoroaster. His name quite literally means mana made evil. In this case, the word mana represents the mind. Throughout history, many have referred to him as the demon of evil intention, evil mind, evil purpose, or even evil thinking. And his job? Simply to prevent people from fulfilling their moral duties, i.e. being a good person. In the Shahnameh, Manah is described as having long hair, blue eyes, and a head like an elephant with a mouthful of tusks instead of teeth. Lovely. In one of the tales, the demon traps Rostam while the hero is asleep, and he carries him up into the sky. He then asks Rostam whether he would prefer to be thrown upon a mountain or into the sea. Rostam, aware that the demon's mind is perverse, asks to be thrown upon a mountain, and the demon in response throws him into the sea. Rescuing himself from the waters, Rostam recovers his horse and confronts the demon again, subsequently beheading it. Lovely stuff. Coming in at number 4, Abyzou. Hailing from Jewish mythology, Abyzou is a female demon believed to be responsible for miscarriages, stillbirths, and infant mortality. Now, she is said to be motivated by envy, as she herself is infertile. She is often pictured on amulets with fish or serpent-like attributes. However, her fullest literary depiction is the compendium of demonology known as the Testament of Solomon, which dates back to as early as the 1st century AD. Now, in the Testament of Solomon, Abyzou is described as having, I quote, a greenish gleaming face with disheveled serpent-like hair, with the rest of her body covered completely in darkness. In the book, the speaker, King Solomon, encounters a series of demons, binds and tortures each in turn, and inquires into their activities. Now, put to the test, Abyzou says she does not sleep, instead wanders the world looking for women about to give birth. Given the opportunity, she will strangle newborns. She also claims to be the source of many other afflictions, including deafness, eye trouble, obstructions of the throat, madness, and bodily pain. So Solomon ordered that she be chained by her own hair and hung up in front of the temple in public view. Yikes. Yeah, this demoness is trouble, and if she were real, the world would be absolutely awful. Coming in at 3, Allah. Originating from pre-Slavic and Slavic mythology, Allah is a female demon recorded in the folklore of Bulgarians, Macedonians, and Serbs. They are considered demons of bad weather, whose main purpose is to lead hail-producing thunderclouds in the direction of fields, vineyards, or orchards to destroy the crops or loot and take them away. Allah also likes to eat children, though their gluttony is not limited to Earth, which is interesting. It is believed that Allah sometimes tries to devour the sun or the moon, in turn causing eclipses, and would result in the end of the world should they succeed. When folks encounter Allah, their mental or physical health are in peril. However, favor can be gained by approaching them with respect. If you approach with respect, Allah are known to save your life whenever necessary and make you rich. They do have one weakness though: eagles. They are incredibly afraid of eagles. Now, their appearance has changed throughout history, with some saying they look like ravens, others like clouds or dark winds, or even snakes or female dragons. They are also believed to live in lakes, springs, clouds, unreachable mountains, forests, caves, or even gigantic trees. Coming in at number 2, Pontianak. Hailing from Indonesian mythology, Pontianak are female demons who die during childbirth and become undead as a result. These demons are said to scare people, mostly men, and then rip out their internal organs with their claws before feasting on them. They are usually depicted as pale-skinned women with long black hair, red eyes, and white dresses smeared in blood, but they are also said to be able to take on a beautiful human appearance since they prey on men and helpless people. Now, in folklore, they typically arise at full moon and announce their presence through high-pitched baby cries. Very creepy indeed. If the cry is soft, it means that the Pontianak is near, and if it is loud, then she is far. Confusing, I know. Some even believe that if one hears a dog howling at night, it means the Pontianak is far, but if a dog is whining, that means the Pontianak is nearby. Now, it is said that if one has his eyes open when a Pontianak is near, she will suck them out of the victim's head. They are also known to locate their victims by sniffing out the hanging laundry outside. For this reason, some Malaysians refuse to leave any piece of clothing outside of their home overnight. I respect that. They also have been compared to vampires, however they do what they do more out of vengeance rather than necessity or sustenance. Either way, I'm glad these suckers aren't real. That would suck. And finally, coming in at number 1, Lady Midday. Hailing from Slavic mythology, Lady Midday, also known as Polutnitsa, is a mythical character and a noon demon. She is often depicted as a young woman dressed in white that roams field bounds. Lady Midday will often make herself evident in the middle of a hot summer's day. She will then take the form of a whirling dust cloud and carry a scythe or shear. She will then stop people in the field to ask them difficult questions or engage them in conversation. Now here's where things get spooky. If anyone fails to answer a question or tries to change the subject, she will cut off their head or strike them with their illness. She may also appear to people as an old hag, a beautiful woman, or even a 12-year-old girl. Now what makes this demon interesting is the simple fact that she is the personification of heat stroke, and can also give people insanity or heat sickness in lieu of decapitation. Now in Wendish mythology, she is known as Mittagsfrau among German speakers of Eastern Germany. She also appears in North and West Germany, often making children disappear when they search for flowers in and among the tall grain plants on hot summer's day. She's bad news bears, and I'm grateful this demoness does not exist. But to be fair, she doesn't concern me because I don't go outside. What is summer? Coming in at number 5, Ronove. In demonology, Ronove is a Marquis and Great Earl of Hell, commanding 20 legions of demons. He is said to teach art, rhetoric, languages, and gives good and loyal servants and their favor of friends and foes. He is often depicted as a monster holding a staff, without detailing his appearance. In other writings, he is described as a taker of old souls, often coming to Earth to harvest souls of decrepit humans and animals near death. He is often depicted as a monster with an ugly face and a long monkey-like tail holding a staff. There is clearly very little documented about Ronove other than the fact that he is a Marquis and Great Earl of Ginniston, commanding 19 legions of demons. This dude is not to be messed with, and if you love your old relatives, you would not want him to be real. Coming in at number 4, Amon. Amon, also known as Alman and Nahum in demonology, is a Marquis of Hell who is said to govern 40 infernal legions. Now the name Amon comes from the god Amun, from the god Baal Amun of Carthage. According to the dictionary Infernal by Colin de Plancy, he commands 40 legions of demons and carries the title of Prince. He is also an entity many look to reconcile friends and foes, and procure love for those seeking it. I quote, Amon or Amon is a great and mighty Marquis, and cometh abroad in the likeness of a wolf, having serpent's tail, vomiting flames of fire, when he putteth on the shape of a man. He sheweth out dog's teeth, and a great head like to a mighty nighthawk. He is the strongest prince of all other, and understandeth of all things past and to come. He procureth favour, and reconcileth both friends and foes, and ruleth 40 legions of devils. Yeah. Shooketh. There is little else known about the demon Amon other than the simple fact that he is not to be messed with. Coming in at 3, Lilith. Lilith is a female figure in Jewish mythology, often envisioned as a dangerous demon of the night who is sexually wanton and who steals babies in the darkness. In Jewish folklore, Lilith appears as Adam's first wife, who was created at the same time and from the same clay as Adam. The writing goes on to suggest that Lilith left Adam after she refused to become subservient to him and would not return to the Garden of Eden after she had coupled with the archangel Samuel. I quote, "They tried to take her back, but she refused. They asked her, 'Why don't you want to go back?' She told them, 'I know that I was created for the sole purpose of making babies, ill from their day of birth until their 8th day, when I have permission, and after 8 days I have no permission. I cannot return because of what is said in the Torah, and the great demon has already slept with me.' Savage Lilith, but respect." In Sumerian texts, Lilith is thought to be the demon of waste places who originally lived in the garden of Sumerian goddess Inanna, queen of heaven. I quote, "Years passed, the tree matured and grew big, but Inanna found herself unable to cut down the tree, for at its base the snake who knows no charm has built its nest. In its crown the zoo bird, a mythological creature which at times wrought mischief, had placed its young. In the middle Lilith, the maid of desolation, had built her house, and so poor Inanna, the light-hearted and ever joyful maid, shed bitter tears. As the dawn broke, and her brother, the sun god Utu, arose from his sleeping chamber, she repeated to him tearfully all that had befallen her, Halupa tree." I mean, I kind of wish Lilith was real. She sounds like an absolute badass. Coming in at number 2, Abaddon. The Hebrew term Abaddon and the Greek equivalent Apollyon appear in the Bible as both a place of destruction and an angel of the abyss. However, in the Hebrew Bible, Abaddon is used with reference to a bottomless pit, often referring alongside the place Sheol, meaning the realm of the dead. Moving into the New Testament, the book of Revelation, Abaddon is described as the king of an army of locusts, also known as the angel of death. Back to Revelation though. In Revelation 9:11, Abaddon is described as Destroyer, the angel of the abyss, and as the king of a plague of locusts resembling horses with crowned human faces, women's hair, lion's teeth, wings, iron breastplates, and a tail with the scorpion stingers that torments for 5 months anyone who does not have the seal of God on their foreheads, which we all don't have, so we're all royally To quote Reb 911, Abaddon, that is perdition or destruction, the locusts are supernatural instruments in the hands of Satan to torment and yet not kill the ungodly under this fifth trumpet. Just as in the case of godly Job, Satan was allowed to torment with Elephantius, but not to touch his life. While most writings simply equate Abaddon to a place within the underworld, the description has been extended by Louis Ginsburg, who describes hell as being comprised of 7 divisions: Sheol, Abaddon, Be'er Shahat, Tit Hayowen, Moet, Shari Samawet, and Gehenna, each sitting atop one another. Also, I'm sorry if that is all wrong. These words aren't real. And finally, coming in at number 1, Satan. The name Satan is derived from a root meaning to oppose or to be or to act as an adversary. Now in some cases he is not necessarily malevolent, and he may have actually been sent by the Lord to prevent worse harm. What we know is that Satan possesses no real demonic qualities in the original text. However, he is an entity in the Abrahamic religions that seduces humans into sin or falsehood. He is typically depicted as a fallen angel or a jinn who used to possess great piety and beauty, but rebelled against God, who nevertheless allows him temporary power over the fallen world and a host of demons. In Judaism, Satan is regarded as a metaphor for the Yetzer Hara, or evil inclination, or as an agent subservient to God. The most common English synonym for Satan is devil, and in the book of Revelation, Satan is the supernatural ruler of the Roman Empire and the ultimate cause of all evil in the world. Lovely stuff, but stop trying to steal my thunder. Now moving forward into the early modern period, Christians began to regard Satan as increasingly powerful, and the fear of Satan's power became a dominant aspect of the worldview of Christians across Europe. Entering the modern era, belief in Satan and demonic possession remains strong among Christians in the United States, specifically the United States. According to a 2013 poll, 57% of people in the US believe in a literal devil. That's far too many people. I'm shooketh. Coming in at number 5, Belphegor. This demon hails from Christian demonology and Kabbalic mythology. Belphegor is absolutely terrifying in both looks and qualities. He began in Assyria many years ago and was initially called Baal Peor, the demon being associated with orgies and other types of lewdness. The Israelites worshipped him in the form of a penis-shaped idol. Yeah, I wish I was joking. I wish I had this idol. In Kabbalic mythology, he was a demon who made people paranoid of one another because, as we know, there is nothing more terrifying than neighbor turning on neighbor. Belphegor would then seduce the people with both money and overall wealth. Now, in order to summon this demon, it's quite the difficult process, considering you need a human sacrifice in order to do so. In the 16th century, he changed his name from Baal Peor to Belphegor, and in turn changed his strategy. Well, somewhat. He threw away the idea of causing mistrust and instead focused on inventions. Instead, he would suggest crazy inventions to people and then use their greed to his advantage. He would disprove the rumors that marriage results in happiness, which is kinda sad. Now, Belphegor is notable for 2 attributes. He is believed to be physically, mentally, and strategically strongest in the month of April. Which is strange, I know. Not only that, but he was/is Hell's ambassador to France. Strange flex, but okay, pretty sus. Also, for those familiar with Milton's book Paradise Lost, you all know Belphegor played a role and is depicted as a hideous, bearded demon with horns and claws. Coming in at number 4, Jikaninki. Originating from Japanese Buddhist mythology, the Jikaninki are the spirits of selfish, greedy, or ungodly people who have passed on. It is said that they are cursed to eat the flesh of human corpses, which kind of sucks for them, I guess. It is also noted that they take valuables from the corpses in order to bribe local law enforcement officials to leave them alone. However, unlike most demons found in mythology, they actually hate what they are and are in a constant state of self-disgust and self-loathing. Now, according to reports, the Jikaninki are absolutely terrifying to look at, and according to some folks, seeing one will make you paralyzed with fear. Other accounts indicate Jikaninki can take the form of a normal-looking human being and can even lead somewhat normal lives by day, which is absolutely terrifying. Now, unlike other Gaki or Rakasha, aka hungry ghosts, they are an endangered species, which is absolutely crazy, so I guess we don't need to fret too much about these bad boys eating our faces. For now anyway. I could be a Jikaninki. Can't even say the word, so props not. Coming in at number 3, Scariest. Also known as Agara, Agaros, or Agarus, this demon can be a woman or a man, unlike the others on our list. If the demon is a man, the man will be old and riding a crocodile. Yes, I know. Hot. If the demon is a woman, however, she will be young and angelically beautiful, because even demons have messed up standards when it comes to beauty, apparently. Now, more interesting still, a surprising amount of demons are actually teachers, which is probably why we all hated school so much. They instruct those they visit or possess, and in turn grant them knowledge and power, which is often why humans let them in, or even willingly invoke them. However, one of the upsides to being possessed by this demon is that they will grant you knowledge of every language in the world. The bad news, however, they will teach you the foulest and most offensive words. So, you'll be educated, but you'll also be one of the worst people to ever walk the earth. Cool, don't think you want that. Coming in at number 2, Beelzebub. Now, many of you will be shocked that this demon didn't make our number 1 spot, but you will see why very soon. Now, Beelzebub once appeared in France many years ago, and this is what I'm going to tell you about today. It began in the early 1600s when a young nun named Madeleine wasn't having a particularly good time. She began to have fits, shouting and yelling obscenities, even making claims that she engaged in lewd sexual acts with demons and witches. Lovely stuff. It was in turn decided that she was possessed by, who you may ask? Beelzebub himself, of course. The possession spread through the nunnery, with even another woman, Louise Capot, suffering from similar attacks as vicious as Madeleine's. The situation got worse and worse, forcing them to bring in Sebastian Micheli, the local Grand Inquisitor. However, this did not drive out the demon, but it did lead the girls to accuse a priest who had acted as a counselor to Madeleine of committing lewd acts. However, the priest denied everything. A multi-year campaign against the priest was brought about, helped by the nuns, who mimed the sex acts they had committed with the priest in front of both him and the Inquisitor. The priest eventually said, sarcastically, that if he were a witch he would give his soul to the devil. The priest was ultimately arrested, tortured, confessed, recanted, and tortured some more, and then ultimately burned at the stake. The girls went on to get another few people burned at the stake as well, before they themselves were accused of witchcraft and were imprisoned. Crazy stuff. Lesson number 1. Never invoke Beelzebub because you'll become an asshole. And finally coming in at number 1, Lamashtu. Sumerian and Mesopotamian mythology tells of this demon, Lamashtu. This female demon is known for unleashing a wide variety of torments, mostly hellish, across innocents around the world. She will harass women all throughout their pregnancies and then steal their babies in order to chew their bones and drink their blood. She is also known for killing crops, contaminating water, and wreaking havoc as much as devilishly possible. Now, anyone unlucky enough to be possessed by this demon will experience terrifying nightmares and sleep disturbances, even potentially coming down with a grave illness. Lamashtu is apparently so terrifying that it was said pregnant women would go as far as to summon the fearsome demon Pazuzu in hopes of protection. However, he wouldn't protect them from Lamashtu out of the kindness of his heart. No, the two just hate each other so much that they'd be far too busy battling each other, instead of focusing on you mere mortals. I say you because I'm Lamashtu. Surprise, surprise. The demon is often depicted as having a hairy body, the head of a lioness, donkey teeth and ears, as well as bird feet complete with talons. Yep, bet you're glad she's not real, right?